All right. Having some connection issues on my end. I just disconnected my VPN. I think that's going to be better. So let's get that going without that. And just making sure you guys can still hear me in chat, right? Can you guys still hear me? Okay. don't, don't scare me like that. All right. Now I'm just waiting to get confirmation on YouTube side. Welcome everyone, welcome. We will get started shortly. I'm just trying to get the YouTube stream going. And make sure I can get the link. There it is. All right, feels like we're back on track after last week, or 2 weeks ago, which I again apologize. I was sick, couldn't get the Discord audio. Let's be honest, it was a complete train wreck, so I apologize. But we're back in action now, and back with Dyson 2.1.0. Technically 2.1.1, but we will get there. So let's go ahead and jump in. We've been saying that we have a lot going on in the background, and now we are finally beginning to see some of the fruits of that labor. So first, Dyson 2.1.0 went live, and that was the culmination of a lot of community feedback, as well as the ongoing effort to improve our user interfaces and experiences, and also improve efficiency in the back end to make future scaling and integrations more seamless. So I know it's hard for you guys when we have all these background things going on, but now we are starting to finally see some of those things come forward. So this also gives us an opportunity to highlight that the UI of every project under Sphere's umbrella has been built from the ground up, and we are proud of that. We do not want to copy paste from other projects because we do want to build an authentic ecosystem with some quality and uniqueness. So Dyson 2.1.0 initially came with multiple changes, so let's go through some of those. Visually, there have been some significant changes, and hopefully you will find everything more organized and easier to navigate. Senator Dyson's new update is sexy as hell. Thank you. There's just a bug I get that needs to be pushed, Dyson 2.1.1, which we'll talk about and address some of the bugs. But we've been reporting different things here and there, because inevitably when you fix one thing, 3 other things go out of whack. But we will squash the bugs in time. But in the meantime, for this update, the Vault and Strategy displays are now much simpler and more informative, with the addition of tags as well to help you more readily understand and interact with Dyson. From the performance side, data retrieval has been given a major boost as well. So while this does mean we are no longer supporting Internet Explorer, it also means that modern browsers will be able to work much faster to provide up-to-date information. It's in bugs already. Good, thank you. I know y'all doing heaps already, so expect it to be soon enough. Nice to see that we have quick fixes implemented based on feedback. Yeah, That was really, really good to see. Weaver did some great work on that. What else? From the experience standpoint, user experience standpoint, Dyson is now much more mobile friendly. So managing positions and using filters should be much easier on all devices. We've also seen some suggestions about scrolling with respect to mobile. So we're looking into that as well. But switching between networks is also now less intrusive to the user experience. And we also added some hopefully helpful tooltip messages, such as our new how to get section, to give some clear instructions for how to actually get the tokens. And we are aware that the get token link will direct users to 1inch, which is not really US friendly. So for US users, we are working through a couple of options to replace this or offer an alternative to 1inch because of that issue with the United States. So a full and complete list of the Dyson 2.1.0 changes can be found in the Dyson announcements, but there are a few things I think are worth noting, which is that the deprecated vaults are now only visible if a user has actually deposited there and needs to withdraw, which just cleans up the user interface for all other users, makes things a bit more seamless. The filters and vaults are now opened in a drawer to the right to improve the user experience on all devices as well, especially mobile. The vault data is now automatically fetched every 60 seconds to ensure that you always have updated information around the clock. And you can now view your positions on all networks with prompts to change networks occurring only if you go to perform an action on a different network. Again, just to try to make the experience a bit more seamless and smooth without too many interruptions. There was a bug where users could not deposit funds into YL Sphere without removing some decimals, and this has been fixed. This was a very commonly suggested bug or feedback from the community, so it's nice to finally have it crossed off the list. And I know I'm also one of those people who are glad to have that crossed off. There's also was the bug for the Sphere Locker where users were not informed that they needed to claim their rewards first before they were able to relock or withdraw. And this has also been fixed. Another commonly suggested update from the community. And from my perspective, I think those two are pretty big because not being able to deposit funds or not being able to withdraw or relock and not knowing why can be alarming to users who don't know why that is or what's going on. So the fact that that is now addressed, I think, is a good thing. So we don't need to claim rewards. We can just let it stack up. Well, you can always claim rewards, but... Oh, no. So what's different is that there is now an information box that tells you in order to withdraw or relock, you need to claim first. Whereas before, it didn't tell you. Yeah, the decimal rounding will forever be the best thing that's happened. Yeah, I think that's a huge improvement for new users, especially because, as you can imagine, if you just stumbled upon a new protocol, tried to deposit and got an error right away, I mean, that's very off-putting for a lot of people. And then to have to come to the Discord, figure out why, it can just very easily set people off in a way. So to have that fixed is much more user-friendly and beginner-friendly. So yeah, ultimately, thank you all for your feedback. We do listen and we do look into what is suggested, and when enough people echo the same concerns or interests, and we agree it is worth pursuing, then we will definitely pursue it. And on that same note, like I mentioned, Weaver the Beast has already pushed forward version 2.1.1 with several different features. So pretty right off the bat, people were mentioning that the while sphere balance was no longer visible. So that has been updated. That balance is now visible again in several areas. The TVL breakdown also now shows YL sphere. Concentrated liquidity TVL breakdown has been reintroduced and revamped visually. I quite like how it is now displayed, where you actually have a kind of a meter bar showing you to which side it is more heavily weighted. And then a small data update bugs were fixed. And also all vaults now have a share button so that they can actually be copied and shared with friends. Hey there, Cyril. Been some time since you were here in an AMA. Welcome. All right. Oh, Cyril. Okay, okay. In my head, it's been Cyril this whole time, so thanks for pointing that out, Cyril. All right. Archer, okay. I never watched Archer. Sorry about that. All right, I definitely want to mention the Advent calendar. So be sure to participate in the Advent calendar for a chance to win different prizes throughout this month. So be on the lookout for that. We've got some good announcements coming through with respect to that in the community section. So be on the lookout. All right. Beyond that, it's a lot of the same kind of reflections in terms of still working on multiple different things in the background, still things being worked on in the back end and also front end, integrations, Prion, all of that different stuff. So unless you guys have any questions right now here in AMA chat, I will move to the couple of questions that we had in the AMA questions. Sinners, because every time you see Cyril, you sigh. Well, I won't forget that now. I have a when question that I want to ask, but no, I shouldn't. I appreciate your holding back. It means a lot to me. Thank you. That makes me feel good inside. I appreciate it. All right. So some pretty good questions. Oh, have you had the opportunity to read my suggestion in Sphere Ideas? The last time I went through Sphere Ideas was maybe a week ago. So if you did it recently, I'm not sure if I saw it. Let me see. Oh, okay. Sphere wants to stand by their SP500 narrative. Utilize the managed pool balancer. Oh, I see. That's pretty interesting. So basically match the liquidity of Sphere with some other blue chips instead of Matic. Hmm. Pretty interesting. Yeah, I think that's definitely worth running by the team. Let me hop back in AMA chat. Oh, it's well, too late. No, I know. Yeah, it's a really interesting thought, really interesting question and suggestion. So we appreciate that. And I will forward that to the team. Especially, I'm curious what Rux might say about that as well. they there are much bigger brains behind Sphere than I, so I won't pretend to even suggest that I know what the best ideas are. Alrighty. First AMA question then from Memento Mori. Now, bear in mind, this was back November 23rd, which is before the explosive Bitcoin price action, should we say. But the question was, what metrics are the team tracking to determine the start of the bull market? Moreover, what specific time frame is the team focusing on to adequately prepare for an uptrend in DeFi? Is there a strategic plan for completing V3, Preon, Sphere Lend within this time frame? Given the speculation that the bull market might have initiated, albeit not necessarily in DeFi, it would be good to hear the team's perspective on this matter. So, again, this was written, I think, before the explosive Bitcoin action, but it's pretty clear now from the market side that perspectives on crypto have changed, at least in the short term, with the massive momentum we've seen in Bitcoin. And this has indeed trickled down to other coins and tokens like Ethereum, Polygon, and even Sphere to some extent. But just by looking at the charts in that order, you can see some dilution of that liquidity inflow, as the main focus right now by majority is on Bitcoin and then Ethereum. So there are many factors we look at to help us track market sentiment and momentum within DeFi, and one easy example I would say is TVL, which can be tracked on DeFi Llama. And I went through this today, so the number should be relatively accurate, but the high of DeFi's TVL reached over 175 billion back over 2 years ago now in November 2021. And then it only just recently reached what we would hope is the low of this bear cycle in October this year. So just a few months ago, a couple months ago, we hit the hopeful low of TVL in DeFi at less than 36 billion in TVL. Since then, we have seen an upswing, which has mirrored the bullish momentum in Bitcoin. But we are actually still below the high from April of this year. So back when the enthusiasm in crypto as a whole was less, the TVI was still higher in DeFi. So this is just one factor, and it really only gives some information, as any factor does, about the total liquidity and interest within DeFi, but it can still be helpful. And we're certainly cautiously optimistic. And while I cannot give you a specific time frame, what I can say is that our plan continues to be what it has been, which is continue building our projects, keep building our relationships, our collaborations, our integrations, and that does include updates to Dyson, as we've seen, to Preon, Preon's collateral options, Preon's second launch phase, Sphere Lend, and other aspects of the ecosystem that are being built to enhance integration and efficiency. And that has been and continues to be our goal. Astro Boy in chat, when Bernie, when buybacks. Oh, the wins. I can't answer when questions unless we have specific things that I have, clear timelines on. But will they be back? Don't see any reason on why not. So there's been, especially with respect to vSphere, the initial attempt at integration came across some issues and it was being reworked. And since then, there's been a lot of focus on Preon, but in that time, it has given us some opportunities to look at how we can optimize the concept of vSphere. So that's about as much as I can say about that. I don't mind getting 2% less on APR and Matic to be used by Bernie. Yeah, and that it's something that we go back and forth on, and is being explored. Um, Astro. Sinner, have you thought about bringing in different team members every so often to get updates on their specific projects? Yes, we have. And CryptoFat is kind of working on ideas for that, Sinner, to kind of make those roles more tangible for the community. Mhm. How is your relation? Is this a personal question? How is my personal relation with the Polygon team? A team relation? I mean, good overall, right? We have a lot of building that we're doing within the Polygon ecosystems. You are full of when questions, my man. We were missing Twitter Spaces. Yeah, that's something I can talk with CryptoFat about in terms of pushing more back into the Twitter Spaces like we had in the past. Yeah. Hold up, hold up. I'm gonna write this down now. You've asked more than one thing of me. I can't recall everything. I'm just joking, but I just want to make sure that I can actually forward it. I'm a good speaker. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'll follow through on both of these things and see where it goes. I'm AI like the rest of the team. I can neither confirm nor deny if I am an AI. When Sphere song? I did a Prion song. I see what you're saying. When a Sphere song? We'll have to mull over that one. Yeah, X spaces, right? All right. Yeah, I mean, formerly Twitter, now X, is a good social engagement platform. We definitely plan to continue to use it. It's definitely not something that we're going to gravitate away from. So, what are our plans with Arbitrum and other L2s? Same type of general information I can give about continuing to offer more collateral options and build and continue forward. The goal of serious projects is to have multi-chain compatibility. So many people typing. I love it. Plans to partner with Seneca. I can't really comment on that one way or another. I love the curiosity, Astro. I love the I can feel the enthusiasm and the curiosity, so I love it. I do appreciate it. Sinner, you couldn't resist. This is a one question. It's different. Okay. Do you think we'll hear more about Sphere Lend anytime soon? It's been a long while, and we went dark after we knew it was being tested. Um, this is that tricky thing where the best I can say is soon. These right now still the priority is on making sure we can get integrations with Prion. But even within that, and this kind of ties into the second question in AMA questions, which is how the flywheel and integrations between Dyson Prion and Sphere Lend work. Because right now, the naked, the hard assets like wrapped ETH, wrapped Matic in Prion, a portion of those are being routed through Dyson and into Aave. So once, there's good incentive to get SphereLend up and running, because then instead of routing through to Aave, which is less efficient, we can route through to our own project, which is more efficient. So it's an integration that we do want to have forward when the time is right. Is Sim involved in the project as he was in the beginning? Yes, as T1 said, he is the CEO. He's doing, especially since the bear market, he's been focusing a lot more on the development side than the PR side. And CryptoFat and myself have taken more of that role, as well as Oxy is doing a lot of good work in the community. So, but yes. Any plans for other L2 pools, borrows, or vaults in Prion? Ultimately, the sky's the limit. With these projects here, we now have the ability to expand, and that's part of the reason why this building bear market has been what it's been for us, is to allow us the time to make future expansions more seamless. With the initial launch of Prion, the focus was really set on making sure that we have a solid stablecoin, and that requires very solid collateral options. Once we're able to push and expand beyond that, then things can, like I mentioned, begin to expand. Too busy building, yeah, basically. I know Prion is the initial priority. I just remember SphereLend being essentially done, so I was just wondering. Gotcha. Anything else, or if it had been on pause? More so making sure everything lines up the way it needs to. When update on Sphere's site. You mean like the roadmap and such? I know CryptoFat has been working on that, but I don't have an answer to the when part. Sphere perpetuals. It's been considered, but we have a vision for the ecosystem that we want to. Sorry, I'm just looking at your last comment. We want to make sure that we can get that vision of the ecosystem operational. Are there other dexes I can get star on other than Balancer? Yes, Retro is another good dex to get star. That's all from my end. All right, you can keep coming if you have. And T1, thanks for answering as well. Okay, well that was a great push forward of questions. Let me jump in and rapid fire AMAs. Yeah, that was good though. We haven't had an engagement like that in quite a while, so that's it's nice to see. Perhaps a sign of the changing tides. Sphero had asked in AMA questions, what is the plan for Sphere in 2024? Kind of similar to the last question. Can you give at least some general information? What is the last building structure for Sphere to start having flywheel effects? So I felt like this was a really good question to expand into some. So a little similar to the previous question, in that, in general, our plan is to continue the trajectory we're on with respect to continuing to build and eventually releasing these different components of the ecosystem. With regards to the flywheel, basically every piece that we build adds more to that effect. So Dyson was the first kind of initiation of the flywheel by allowing Sphere to put its treasury to work into custom-built strategies. And then Prion was then a major component, which we can start to see with, for example, the treasury-only position. And like I mentioned, already a portion of the hard collateral assets deposited on Prion, like wrapped ETH, wrapped Matic, are being routed through Dyson to Aave to earn additional yield. And then in time, like we've talked about, we will be able to instead route them to Sphere Lend to again improve yield and efficiency. So the Preon Dyson flywheel alone has a great deal more to reveal on how it will integrate. And then a step beyond that, the Preon Dyson Sphere Lend triangle will add another layer to the flywheel. So it's not so much about one thing saying, here's the flywheel, as it is that the more that we build and the more we stack on top of our building blocks, the faster that wheel begins to turn. So I thought that was a really great question, and hopefully that makes sense. By the way, will there be an investment in marketing? Formerly Twitter, X ads, for example. With Elon, they became much more efficient. You can pay with crypto by using gift cards, for example, or by the way. Paid advertisements are always something that are on the table. Thanks T1 for referencing CryptoFat's comments on marketing. It really ultimately boils down to cost and conversion, where as we get more solidly into a bull market, these types of marketing investments, paid marketing investments like that, will start to make more sense. But we have to be careful, because if it's not efficient, then it will simply be burning money. And we can't do that, especially in a bear market. But with things turning around, again, that gives more opportunities to do that sort of marketing, because again, those conversion rates can start to turn around as the natural interest in crypto begins to grow, and then extending from that, the natural interest in DeFi. So once you have more of that natural interest, people looking for those sorts of things, it's a better fit to then begin to actually introduce paid marketing that targets those individuals. I see some people typing, including the man, the myth, the legend, CryptoFat. So I'm going to take a pause while people type. I don't know how much you know about the hiring process, because it's more DVK side of things, but what do you know about it? Is it like a one-off interview? Is it like Amazon, where there's 6 different interviews to make sure they fit correctly, they're qualified for the job? It depends on the position. It is more DVK side of things, so I don't want to push too far into it to say something off. But I guess out of curiosity, why is it that you ask? You know, is it something that you're looking into, or do you have something in mind? And then just to read off what CryptoFat had said, reflecting kind of what I mentioned. So paid ads are a fraction of marketing, and then the return on investment on paid ads are easy to track. So when the return on investment is there, then we will be able to use them. It's just that, like I mentioned, in the past, especially during the bear, when liquidity is leaving DeFi, people don't want to be in DeFi, then it's the return on investment is not there. So it will certainly be there in the future during the bull market, and it will make sense in time. But until it makes sense and that data is not there, then we won't pursue it. CryptoFat also commented on when update on Sphere site, in process from a few different fronts. So we do know that that needs a facelift, and we're working on it. Just an FYI, I'm not listening, just checking in from vacation. Well, thanks for checking in for vacation, but shame on you for not listening. Just kidding. All right, Astro, thanks for being here. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your questions. Thanks for stopping in. Until next time. T1, I feel like it'd be a Google interview for a software engineer role. Project. Big. Oh, I see. My partner does a lot of interviews for Amazon. I've always liked the hiring process is to make sure the person they're hiring is as well fit for the team as possible. Yeah, that makes sense. Internal curiosity about the hiring process. CryptoFet interview, written plan for some specific targets, temporary assignment, and then hired is how it looked like for CryptoFet. Been here from 0 to 150K into 0 again. I'll never leave. Well, thanks again for the questions. Thanks for showing up and the engagement. Hopefully, we were able to at least answer your questions as well as we could. I know sometimes our responses are limited, but that's just the nature of the beast. All right. Good, good. Well, any more questions here in AMA chat? When Dyson song? Oy, oy, oy. You guys. I do one song. Typhoon. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. All right. Well, I pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover. Bi-weekly reminder to make sure that you utilize your governance tokens if you have them, as we are coming up on the next epoch flip. Be sure to check your YL sphere if you need to claim, withdraw, relock. Make sure that you do so. And yeah, make sure also that you're participating in the Advent calendar to have a chance to win some sphere token prizes. And I hope you enjoy the updates to Dyson as much as we've been enjoying them. What's the chance of us getting a Dyson song? I'd say 0.1%. Especially now, there's a lot on the plate. But yeah, thanks you guys so much for being here. Glad we could finally figure out the Discord mayhem thanks to T1 last time. So feels like this AMA went a lot smoother. Hopefully you guys experienced that as well on your end. As always, you can drop more questions in AMA questions as well as in the chats, and one of our team will be happy to help, as well as the wonderful community members who are always participating and helping out as well. So I do extend my appreciation for that. Oh, T1. And yes, thanks again for showing up. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And until then, always remember that you matter for who you are. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.